For countless generations, the moon hung above humanity like a patient witness, silent, cold, and impossibly distant. It was the companion of every civilization that ever lived on Earth, a glowing sentinel that inspired myths, guided explorers, shaped tides, and watched the rise and fall of empires. From the moment humans first lifted their eyes to its silver glow, they sensed a strange familiarity, as if the moon were both foreign and intimately known. And yet, throughout all of human history, it remained unreachable, a world defined not by presence, but by longing. But the moment humanity stepped onto its surface, everything changed. For the first time, humans felt the shock of alien soil beneath their boots. The moon, once a dream, became a place, a real place, with landscapes, horizons, and shadows untouched since the birth of the solar system. But landing on the moon was only the beginning. The true transformation occurred much later, when humanity finally allowed itself to imagine something almost heretical, not merely visiting the moon, but living upon it, building homes beneath its silent skies, constructing streets and halls and communities where no atmosphere had ever carried the sound of life, creating a civilization not on Earth, but beside Earth. The idea was audacious, overwhelming, terrifying, and yet deeply alluring. It promised a future in which humanity was no longer confined to the thin crust of a single planet, but instead began weaving itself into the larger fabric of the cosmos. The moment humans decided to build cities on the moon, they did more than expand their territory. They redefined what it meant to be a planetary species. To build a city is to invest in permanence. It is a declaration of belonging. And so, when the first lunar habitats were constructed, tiny, pressurized cocoons carved into regolith or nestled beneath transparent domes, humanity took its first real step into a multi-world existence. The moon, once a distant icon, slowly became a frontier of possibility. Its harsh, airless plains began to echo with the faint hum of human ingenuity. Its frozen craters, untouched for billions of years, became the foundations for infrastructure. And its endless horizon, curving beneath a black sky littered with stars, became humanity's newest neighbor. The moon was no longer simply a companion to Earth. It became humanity's second home. The first true cities on the moon were not like cities on Earth. They had no open-air plazas, no breezes drifting through alleyways, no sounds of distant traffic murmuring through the night. Instead, they were quiet, sealed ecosystems, complex networks of habitats connected by tunnels and pressurized corridors, each one a delicate bubble of life surrounded by the vacuum. And yet, within these enclosed spaces, humanity discovered a new kind of beauty. Gardens illuminated by artificial suns, streets lined with soft lights that mimicked the glow of dusk, observation decks where citizens stood in awe as the Earth rose above the horizon in shimmering blue and white. The moon offered a perspective no terrestrial city ever could, a direct, unbroken view of the world humans came from, a view that reminded them of their origins even as they built toward their future. These early lunar cities were built deep beneath the surface, shielded from radiation and micrometeoroids by layers of regolith. But as technology advanced, they grew more ambitious. Dome cities shimmered atop the plains like bubbles of light, their curved ceilings revealing the stars through transparent composites stronger than steel. Farms expanded across underground caverns, cultivating crops in hydroponic chambers powered by solar fields stretching across the serene darkness. Water, once scarce, was extracted from ancient ice buried within the moon's permanently shadowed craters, a treasure untouched since the solar system's formation. Over time, the moon transformed from a barren desert into a thriving network of human outposts, each city a testament to resilience, creativity, and cooperation. And while these cities served practical purposes, scientific research, mineral extraction, technological development, they soon grew into something more profound: centers of culture. Children born on the moon grew up knowing a sky that never shifted from black, a horizon that curved differently, a gravity that made their steps light and effortless. Art, music, and literature emerged that reflected the unique rhythms of lunar life. Festivals celebrated the cycles of Earthrise rather than the phases of the moon. Humanity was not merely inhabiting the moon, it was evolving to include the moon in its identity. As the moon became a true extension of human civilization, humanity faced challenges unlike any it had encountered before. Life on the moon demanded a deep understanding of fragility. Every resource, air, water, sunlight, fuel, was precious. Every system had to be monitored, maintained, and improved, for even the smallest failure could jeopardize an entire city. Unlike the sprawling cities of Earth, where nature often provided resilience and redundancy, lunar cities were delicate ecosystems crafted by human hands. They required vigilance, foresight, and a collective commitment to survival. But in this vulnerability, humanity discovered something unexpected: unity. The moon forced humans to think not in terms of nations, but in terms of species. To survive, lunar communities depended on global cooperation, scientific, economic, and cultural. Borders held little meaning when the nearest emergency response system was on another world. The harshness of the lunar environment stripped away the illusions of isolation and reminded humanity that it was one civilization, not many. This shift in perspective rippled back to Earth, inspiring new alliances, new priorities, and a renewed understanding of interdependence. The moon became not just a place to live, but a reminder of what humanity could achieve when united by necessity rather than divided by ideology. And yet, the moon also tested humanity's humility. It revealed weaknesses that Earth had hidden: overconfidence, complacency, the belief that technology alone could triumph over nature. Lunar pioneers learned quickly that the moon was not an extension of Earth, but a world with its own demands, rhythms, and mysteries. They adapted, innovated, and grew wiser with each passing generation. The moon shaped humanity as much as humanity shaped the moon. In the centuries that followed, the moon blossomed into a fully realized civilization, a constellation of cities glimmering beneath an eternal night sky. Each settlement became a gateway to the rest of the solar system, a launching point for exploration that reached farther and farther from Earth's warm embrace. From lunar shipyards, vessels departed toward Mars, the asteroid belt, and the distant outer planets. The moon became humanity's cosmic harbor, a port suspended between earthly heritage and interplanetary ambition. And as the moon thrived, humanity itself transformed. The species that once looked upward with longing now lived in the places it once feared to dream of. Lunar-born generations grew into adults who regarded Earth not as the homeworld, but as the great blue neighbor. Their culture was shaped not by oceans and forests, but by silence, starlight, and the gentle pull of reduced gravity. These people walked lightly but carried a profound sense of purpose, for they knew they belonged to the first generation of a multi-world civilization. Their very existence was evidence that humanity had crossed a threshold from which it would never retreat. In the end, building cities on the moon was more than a technological leap. It was a philosophical one. It taught humanity that home could be expanded, reimagined, and reinvented. It proved that even in the most hostile of environments, life could flourish through cooperation, ingenuity, and hope. And above all, it revealed that the journey of a species does not end at the boundaries of its planet. It begins there,